Hey, what's up, you guys? How you doing? I wanted to do my weekly TA video here. I had a bit of a long weekend where I was a groomsman at a wedding, so I didn't get to film it yesterday. But it actually kind of worked out better today because we've had a big move this morning on the Monday morning New York Open, which it kind of worked out better because we can now discuss what to do now. So Bitcoin this weekend closed around $69,000. It wicked all the way up to 69,500, and so we had a really good weekly close, and it's super bullish. Now, I've become more bullish over the last few days as we've closed these multiple 3-day candles above this line here. So not only have we, taken over this last level here, this last high with this candle, but also we've now closed above this high here. So it's little bit more bullish. It's not just like a one-off experience where you see this one wicked above and then dumped back down. Now the fact that we've had this this higher low here, and now we've come up and actually closed above here, especially on a 3-day and a weekly candle. This is a lot more bullish of a structure. Now, if we come down to the 4-hour chart, we can see this morning, we wicked up here, and then this morning we dumped all the way back down to around 66,900. Now, we are having a bit of a buyback now. This could still come back down here, and it would still be bullish, but it's looking good so far. I mean, we've already had this candle a wick back up here. This could still do this, or it then dumps back down. That's totally an option, or it could just be super bullish and we head back up. Now, what's different about this video is that it's on Monday and we don't usually get to see this happen, but a lot of times if there's a Sunday pump into a Monday sell-off, that early week sell-off is usually potentially indicative of a better close by the end of the week. So usually if it's a Sunday pump with a Monday sell-off, usually we pump by the end of the week, which is actually pretty bullish. So we had a little bit of a sell-off now. We could still sell off down to $66,000 and be very bullish. I actually wouldn't mind if we came down here for a day or so, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then maybe by Thursday, Friday, we're pumping back up here closer to all-time highs. And it is coming towards the end of October here. So hopefully we finish this month off with, potential Uptober fashion. And we head towards 73.8 is our all-time high. I expect us to be close to 75K probably by the election around November 5th-ish. Definitely in November, I expect us to be closer to all-time high because we're only about currently we're only about 8%, 9% off right now. No, 8% off right now. So we're not that far. Like that could be 2 days and we could be blasting past all-time highs. So I am very bullish right now, especially going in towards the end of October. This sell-off candle this morning was actually good, and we kind of needed this before we continue up because we need to flush out a little bit of leverage. So we still could go down here and I'd still be happy. Now, where I would see this as invalidated is if we come down here and we start closing below 66,000 and below 64,000. So 64,000 would still be fine. It would still be a bit of a higher low. So we could still have that higher low here. But if we start closing under 64,000, it's a little bit of a red flag because it's starting to lose that daily market structure. So you see this candle right here, this big, huge candle up that started at 62,800. If we came below this one, which was this was the breakout candle, if we come back down below this, it means that we're kind of accepting back into this range, and then this candle basically meant nothing. This huge push of volume meant nothing. And when you retrace a candle like that, it's usually pretty bearish, and it'll most likely come back down here. Now, if we really came back down and broke down to 60,000, this would be very bearish because this is, invalidating this huge daily time frame uptrend that we're starting here. So I would not like to see under $64,000. The last line in the sand really is if we break 62,800, we're definitely going down here towards 60,000. And if we can't hold this, then we've broken the market structure and it's looking a lot worse. So we really want to see 64,300 hold for a higher low if we can. If we come back below this candle, it's not looking too good. So that's the plan for Bitcoin right now. No trade at the moment. I am still expecting a little bit maybe lower here towards the end of the night, maybe tomorrow as well, towards 66,000. But we could just pump from here. But there's no good trade for me right now. Not a good risk reward. Moving on is Solana, which is actually one of the more bullish coins right now, which is amazing. It's actually the only one on this list today that's green right now. So Solana pumped heavy into the weekly close yesterday on Sunday. It pumped all the way up to 171 from around, or was it 159 to 171 basically on the day. And so it was a huge pump yesterday, and it's still carrying that strength with it today. It had a bit of a sell off, but it's one of the only ones having a green day and showing momentum as well. I actually had alerts for it around 159. I was expecting something like this. I was expecting it to come up and then down and reclaim, but it didn't actually go quite as low. And so that's something that is very telling in a bullish environment. If it doesn't come back down to where you expect and it actually pumps higher and consolidates higher, that's a bullish coin. So I want to look for continuation on Solana. If we can get any kind of consolidation in the next couple of days, if it can go sideways, it might not, but if it can go sideways around here and I can see a little bit of a structure forming, that's a potential long scenario for me where I'll do something like this where I have this below this wick today and then probably heading towards the next highs at 183 or something like that. That'd be my trade for Solana. Maybe I can get it closer down here, probably 165. But yeah, I'm looking for a trade on Solana because it is one of the stronger coins. It's making this nice structure on the daily time frame. So we've also, if you can see here, this huge zone here is broken above this for pretty much the first time and held above it in a long time. And so that's why I had alerts on this line for Solana when it broke above here last night. It was super bullish, and that's why we got this huge candle, because there's just been so much selling pressure here and so much resistance that once it finally broke out of here after 7 months at this point, it's looking very bullish for Solana. So that's a trade I'm going to look for anywhere around 161 to 164. If I can get some bids filled in this area, that's where I'll probably look to long for a little bit, of continuation up towards 182. Moving on to BNB, this is actually one I haven't covered in a long time. This actually looks bullish, even though it's at resistance. So this is, since March, 7 months, we have so many taps above this. We broke out once, and you can see as soon as we broke out of it, it was, super bullish until, broke down and fell back into the range. So this is what I talk about when I say the engulfing candles. If we go to the 3-day chart, you can see it better. So this candle right here, this is the breakout candle. And so this is super bullish until it comes back down and takes it out, because then it's falling back into the range and it's not very bullish anymore. And you can see then we continued down and way farther down. And so now we're back here again and we're at resistance. But the reason I'm kind of looking into this more is if we come above here, it is going to be a great buy, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set an alert here for higher up, because if we can break through here, this is something that I would like to long, because it's probably going to fly fast. So this is something I'm looking for in the next potentially week or so. It's had a strong run up here, and if the market continues up like I expect it to, I'll probably look for something like this with a stop like that, and maybe to new highs over here around 726-ish. So if Bitcoin continues on and heads towards 70K and maybe 74K later this week or later this month, I expect BNB to do well and break out of this 7-month little consolidation here, because we also have multiple taps here. And I kind of imagine this resistance and support as a brick wall. And the more taps it has, the weaker it gets. And so we've had so many different taps here, and we've seen it come up and reject multiple times. And now we're actually tapping here, but kind of holding. We haven't broken down yet. We haven't done this quite yet. So consolidation under resistance is actually bullish if you can hold here, because at some point usually it breaks through. And if there's multiple taps at this beforehand, it's usually a pretty good sign. So that's something I'm looking for here. I got an alert around 622. If it breaks through and then I see a little bit of reclaim afterwards, I will then I'll then look to long. You have to make sure though that it's not a wick. So don't enter right away. Wait for a little bit, maybe a 4-hour candle or two, because it could wick up and then come back down. And if the wick comes up here and it closes underneath here on the 4-hour candle, it's not bullish, and that's not something that you want to long. So wait for a couple candle closes to look into that. Next, unfortunately, is WIF. This is a candle. This is a one I like, and it's not looking too great because I have spot, but this does not look amazing. This is something I talk about a lot, where we have this declining momentum, and you can see that here, especially into resistance here at this 283 level. It's not looking too good, especially since we've now had these declining momentum candles, but also we've broken the structure, and now we have a lower high. So I think at least on the shorter time frames, maybe a week or so, we might need to consolidate and come back down here to maybe 232. I hope not $2, but we might. So I'm looking for potential trades like this. So if we come down here to 232, I'm looking to set up a trade, maybe something like this, and we'll probably go to these highs here, but this will probably be TP1. So I'll probably have, this will be a multiple TP trade. If we are bullish and we're going into, new all-time highs, then I'll want to hold this for a little. But my first take profit will be here at this resistance if we do come back up. So this is potentially one trade where, that's a huge stop. It would be something like this underneath this candle. But another trade would be if it does just break through here, you have to watch to make sure it doesn't just, keep falling. But if it does, the next area I would look to long is around $2, and I'd set my stop wherever the candle is and wait for the reclaim, and then do a similar thing where this is TP1 and then this is TP2 here. And if you want to hold this for a little bit longer, you could do way up here and have a third take profit as well. But these are levels I'm looking for. It doesn't look too good. If we go down to the lower time frames, you can see we have this level, and we've broken. So we've broken above, and we've come back down, very similar to the structure I always talk about, where we come back, break down, and then now we're actually starting to put in those lower highs. And if this was I'll mark it up for you. You can see here, we're having these underside retests of the levels, and then it breaks down. So if we did this on the inverse, that's what a long would look like, where it's a reclaim of the level, and then we take off, but it's a short. So we have the underside retest of this level, and we're now breaking down. So unless Bitcoin can come back like massively in the next day or so, and then WIF just follows suit, it looks like WIF may be heading down towards the $2.30 level, potentially even down to $2, which is kind of the origin of this move up. So it doesn't look too great on the lower time frame, unfortunately, but I will be looking to add more spot if we do come down to these levels as well. And the last one for today is actually Pendle, which is looking good on the higher time frames. So we have this level of resistance and support. It just broke through here, actually. And if it now comes down and retests this, which it looks like it might, it's a potentially good long opportunity from here. So you can see we have, we'll go down to 4. So we have a potential long opportunity where we've broken through this level. Now we're going to reclaim this level. And, whoops. I would look to add my stop loss somewhere under these lows. This little level here would act as support. So I would have my stop loss here. And we want to see something like this, where we have this low, we have another one as it comes back down here, and then we want to see it continue upwards. So this is something I'd be looking to take as we get closer to this level. Actually, set an alert here. And this is something I would take in the next couple hours or so, which might hit, today. But this is also something I'd probably look to layer bids through. So this zone here is probably where I would just put multiple bids. So I'd get my average fill somewhere in the middle here, and then I'd like to have my close below this breakout candle here. So I'm looking for something like that, where we would then come up to this level of resistance here, and it'd be about 3 to 1 risk reward ratio. So Pendle is looking very nice. It's broken above here. Now we're reclaiming this level of support, hopefully, and then we're going to continue higher. If you do believe in Pendle a lot, you could just make that TP1 and then new all-time highs as TP2 and so on. But for me, I'm just going to play it level to level here for Pendle. And I like Pendle as a bit of a long-term trade as well in spot in RWA territory. But I think now that we've seen the New York Open this morning, we've had this bit of a sell-off. There's a lot of potential opportunities setting up for trades. We have the BNB one, the potential WIF one, Pendle, Solana is looking great. If we can get somewhere in this blue box, we're looking pretty good. But yeah, we've had a bit of a buyback now. We'll have to see how the day ends, how this daily candle ends in a couple hours from now. But yeah, other than that, it's looking pretty bullish on the high time frames. Short term, in the next day or so, we might have a little bit more of a sell-off, but overall, it's looking very bullish. So it's looking very bullish. I could see us heading to 75K in the next couple of weeks. Maybe by mid-November. But yeah, it's looking great. And I think, especially if you come over here to the monthly time frame, yeah, this monthly chart looks like it wants to go to 120K very fast. So it's all looking very bullish. We just have to wait. If you're sitting in spot, just hold spot. You're in a good position. But I'm going to potentially set up some more trades in the Discord in the coming days. So look forward to those. And if you haven't joined the trading Discord, it's linked down below for you guys to see. And I will see you guys tomorrow.